So my name is Andrew Abyo. I am Sugpiaq. I've been doing the artwork for the past 6 years now. I just discovered it was just natural inside me. I had no idea. And that really spurred a passion for me to learn about my culture, my history. And at the time, my two daughters, they didn't know any of their culture. They actually were the catalyst for me to do what I do today. This is actually a dart game that I make. It's called Inagux. Inagux means to spear the fish, and it was actually a training game for the young boys. They started them at 5 years old. This year would hang from this peg right here. From the ceiling, they would actually hang it, and then it swings like this, right? And then the boys sit back from the target, maybe 10 to 15 feet back, and with their feet forward, because they conditioned their bodies their whole life, they had to hit that swinging target with a little hand dart. By the time they're 10 years old, they're deadly accurate. How many of you are familiar with the bentwood visor? Are you familiar with how many functions are on here? Of course, it was to shield your eyes from the sun, the glare of the water, right? It also could be used as an emergency paddle if you lost or broke your paddle. Every hunter made his own, so you could tell what tribe, what region he's from the symbolism of the painting. The ridge, actually right here, is for support, right? But actually, another purpose is when the hunter's wearing the visor, everywhere that he looks, this is what he uses to aim. For every one bead you see on a visor actually represents one successful kill. So if you see a hunter with a visor, a lot of beads, you know he's a very good hunter. The boys who from 7 to 10 years old, they would have a very short visor, like about this short right here. And that's to signify that they're novice hunters. It's also used as an effective camouflage. Well, say, for instance, the hunter would go for a seal, and what he's going to do actually is he's going to wear the visor, he's going to hold his head down like this, he's going to hide the hunter's face, and then the animal's only going to see the circular or spiral markings that they see here, and then they'll think those are eyes. You'll see the jagged marks here, you'll think those are teeth, and whiskers of a sea lion or a walrus, and you'll just think it's another animal, so very effective camouflage. And from the profile, you can see it looks like a bird beak. Can you imagine if you're out in the ocean, you're hunting with maybe 30 other hunters, so you need to communicate with them. This is actually helps to amplify the voice, and this is something they developed centuries ago. So this is carved out of yellow cedar, and it's a Sugpiaq mask. A lot of work in the back here, yeah. So this actually represents a toyon. The toyon would have a large, tall hat. And this is a transformation mask. This is the bird beak. The beak doesn't come together all the way. That represents the beak being tied. After we burn the mask, it's so that the mask doesn't bring forth false messages. Some actually don't have rims. They're used mainly to just attach the adornments. Duck feathers were used. I think eagle feathers would be very valued. If we wanted to memorialize someone or pray for good whale hunts, we would make a mask. Then we would compose a song and compose a dance. And so we would actually dance the mask, and whoever was here, you would also put your prayers and your messages to your loved ones while we're dancing the mask. Immediately after we dance the mask, we would burn the mask. And in doing so, the flame, the smoke, brings our messages to our loved ones. So as a result of this kind of tradition, not too many Sugpiaq masks have survived. So I can move on to the kayak. This is a Sugpiaq design. Alutiiq is more common. The first step is actually the gunnels. These are the outsides here. You tie the two ends together, just these two pieces, and then you spread them apart, and you put a spacer here, and then that's when you start building the deck beams. It's called a bifurcated bow. If you're in the ocean and you're going into the waves, the impact of the waves is going to wear out your endurance. So this is something that the Alutiiq and Alutiiq people developed centuries ago. They've been in the kayak for 5,000 years, so they came up with a lot of innovations, and this bow is one of them. The way it works is the first bow is going to split open the wave, and the second bow is going to retain the flotation. So it's like a shock absorber. The keelson, the very bottom of the kayak, was constructed in 3 pieces, not just one. And so the reason for that is for flexibility. So a fully traditional kayak can actually flow right with the waves like this. And so this adds to your endurance. They're recorded to paddle from 14 to 20 hours without stopping. We used stellar sea lion or walrus or seal for covering the kayak. If you need to cover one kayak with a stellar sea lion, just take one stellar sea lion. If it's a seal, maybe 6 to 7 skins. Even today, the mathematicians have determined that there is nothing more you could do to the kayak to further improve it. It is already at its utmost.